Culture welcomes you all to this evening's Sri Muchukunta Rangachar Mukunda Memorial Endowment Lecture. We have a very interesting lecture under this endowment program. The title of the lecture is Why Bad Things Happen to Good People, Reflections on Destiny and Human Action. We have here Swami Bodhananda, the Spiritual Director and Chairman Sambodh Institute in India and USA, and extend a very warm welcome to the Swamiji on behalf of all of you and on behalf of the Institute of World Culture. Before we proceed with the much awaited lecture, a few words needs to be said about the endowment, Sri Muchukunta Rangachar Mukunda Memorial Endowment Lecture. About the endowment itself, a few words need to be said. I will read it out in Kannada. Sri Rangachar ಅವರು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಆಹಾರ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾಲಯ CFTRI ಮೈಸೂರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ 41 ವರ್ಷ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿವೃತ್ತರಾಗಿದ್ದರು. ಅವರು ರಂಗಕರ್ಮಿ, ಕ್ರೀಡಾಪಟು, ನಾಟಕಕಾರ, ಬರಹಗಾರ, ವೀಣೆ ಮತ್ತು ಘಟಂ ವಾದಕರು. 1952ರಿಂದ ನಾಟಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕ್ರಿಯರಾಗಿದ್ದು ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ಮೈಸೂರಿನ ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ ಕಲಾಸಂಘ ಜಾಗೃತಿ ಕಲಾನಿಕೇತನ, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಆಹಾರ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾಲಯದ ಜಂಖಾನ, ಅಮರ ಕಲಾ ಸಂಘದ ಆಶ್ರಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ನಾಟಕಗಳನ್ನು ವಿವಿಧ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿನಯಿಸಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಾದ್ಯಂತ ಹಲವಾರು ಭಾರಿ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನಗಳನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದ್ದರು. ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಯ ನಾಟಕ ವಿಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಕಲಾವಿದರಾಗಿದ್ದು ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ಮೈಸೂರು ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ನಾಟಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಭಿನಯಿಸಿದ್ದರು. ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ಹಲವಾರು ನಾಟಕಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರಹಸನಗಳನ್ನು ರಚಿಸಿದರು. ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 4 ನಾಟಕಗಳು ಮೈಸೂರು ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿತ್ತರಿಸಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿವೆ. ನಾಟಕಗಳು, ಪ್ರಹಸನಗಳು ವಿವಿಧ ವೇದಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನಗೊಂಡಿವೆ. ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ನಿರ್ದೇಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವಗೀತೆ, ಜಾನಪದ ಗೀತೆ, ಸುಗಮ ಸಂಗೀತ ಮುಂತಾದವುಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡ ಹಲವಾರು ಸಂಗೀತ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ವಿವಿಧ ವೇದಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನಗೊಳ್ಳಿವೆ. ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಣಿ, ಸುಧಾ, ತರಂಗ, ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ, ನಗೆಮಗಳು, ವಿಪ್ರವಾಹಿನಿ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರ ಬರಹಗಳು ಪ್ರಕಟಗೊಂಡಿವೆ. ಶ್ರೀಯುತರು ರಚಿಸಿದ ಲಘು ಬರಹಗಳ ಸಂಕಲನಗಳು ಕಾಮನಬಿಲ್ಲು ಭಾಗ 1ರಿಂದ 4 ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಕಟಗೊಂಡಿವೆ. ಶ್ರೀ ಮುಕುಂದ ಅವರ ನೆನಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಯಂ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಗೀತ, ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ, ನಾಟಕ, ನೃತ್ಯ ಮುಂತಾದ ಕಲಾ ಪ್ರಕಾರಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ ದತ್ತಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ದತ್ತಿಯ ಆಶ್ರಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಏರ್ಪಡಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಶ್ರೀ ಮುಕುಂದ ಅವರ ಪುತ್ರ ಶ್ರೀ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಭರತ್ ಅವರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸುತ್ತೇವೆ. Now, a few words need to be said about our honorable speaker, Swami Bodhananda. He is the spiritual director and chairman of the Sambodh Institute of India and the USA. Swami Bodhananda is a spiritual director, chairman and Paramacharya of Sambodh Institute of India and the USA, such as the Sambodh Society Inc. USA and Sambodh Foundation India. He is the chairman of the Bodhananda Research Foundation for Management and Leadership Studies a pioneer research establishment on Indian management. In Michigan, USA, he heads and guides a unique institution devoted to interfaith dialogue, healing systems, and Vedanta. The Sambodh Center for Human Excellence, housed in a beautiful ashram in 30 acres of wooded land, he teaches Advaita Vedanta, Yoga Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and scores of other texts of Vedanta and Indian philosophical traditions. Being himself an embodiment of detachment and compassion, his words guide us patiently to the wisdom of the yogic tradition. In India, Swamiji has trained many students and guided them to the pinnacle of ashrama of sannyasa. In the past, Swamiji headed the Sandeepani Sadhanalaya in Kerala. His teachings are imbued with quality that once takes the novice listener and the committed student to the sacred space of the higher self. Apart from his erudition in Vedantic texts, Swamiji is a world-renowned management guru as well. He is an avid reader and is well versed with the contemporary challenges that the corporate leadership and corporate management face. He is a faculty of AMA and several management institutions and gives annual lecture series and courses on significant topics that bridge management leadership and Indian wisdom tradition. In India, there are 12 Sambodh institutions that work under the spiritual guidance of the Swamiji, dedicated for the social and educational empowerment of underprivileged children and women. Of these, one of the most beautiful and oldest ashramas, with a full-fledged facility for its guests and students to stay, is located on the banks of a river in a place called Kaladi in Trivandrum, Kerala. Folklore says that Adi Shankara had visited Kaladi in Trivandrum. If I am not mistaken, he was born in Kaladi.
Not that Kaladi.
Another ashram which is situated in the outskirts of Bangalore, Sambodh Center for Living Values, is guided by Swamiji's vision for a green, self-sustained, organic living. The Sambodh Center in Bangalore has its focus in tree planting, medicinal farms, organic farming, protection of cows, and helping the poor and the downtrodden through its charity programs. Every year, studious but underprivileged school children are selected for Sambodh scholarship that support their education. Bodhananda. Another unique institution is the Bodhananda International Foundation for Interreligious Dialogue, housed in a green concept ashram situated in a quiet environment of Silver Sand Island in Vaitila, Cochin. So we are very thankful to Dr. We are very thankful to Dr. Sangeeta Menon, who delivered a lecture sometime towards the end of February on science and consciousness. Science and consciousness is at the edge of philosophy. Science and consciousness is at the edge of philosophy. She delivered a very beautiful lecture, very thought-provoking lecture in the month of February. And at that time, during interaction, she mentioned about the Swamiji. And it so happened Swamiji was also available in India. So we are very thankful to you, madam, for having given us the privilege of inviting him and hearing the Swamiji. Thank you very much. And with these brief words, I request the Swamiji to deliver his talk. And I would also record it and make preparation for audio recording.
Thank you, sir, for that long and inspiring introduction. I'm supposed to talk on why bad things happen to good people. I think already a bad thing has happened. That I know very little about Muchukunta Rangachar, in whose memory I am supposed to give this oration. But that doesn't matter, because in the introduction, his glories and his contribution, his life and life's works were beautifully described in Kannada language, which I don't understand. But I am sure Muchukunta Rangachar must have been a great soul who contributed in a big way to social uplift and the education of people. So therefore I am happy to talk, to deliver this lecture in his memory. We, Swamis, do not begin anything without a prayer. Because any action, any enterprise, any initiative, for its successful completion, requires the blessings of God, Ishvara. So, permit me to begin with a prayer, so that this interaction becomes successful and useful to all. So I talk for maybe 45 minutes, and then I'll open the forum for Q&A, questions and answers. You may be having a lot of questions based on the lecture or from your own experiences. You may be having questions, so let's raise those questions and reflect on those questions. Not that I have answers to all your questions, but I am curious about your question, because those questions will provoke me. Those questions can make me think deeper about the human condition. So let us begin with a short prayer. May the Lord protect us. May the Lord nourish us. May the Lord energize us. May the Lord bless us with success in all our endeavors. May we not hate each other. Let us work together in an atmosphere of love and care and mutual respect. Peace be, peace be, peace be. Thank you once again. So the question is, why bad things happen to good people? Most of you must have asked this question. And I think it is very important to discuss this question in this hall, because this institution is dedicated to bringing different cultures together in understanding the human condition, human destiny. Where are we headed? What is our destiny, destination? Are we making the right choices? Because we are living in an age where human actions can destroy the whole planet. We have enormous destructive power. Atom bombs, ICBMs, delivery systems, with which we can destroy the world 25 times over. In such a condition, when people are engaged in dialogue, discussion about the future of the world, about the future of humanity, how different cultures can live together, coexist. As in our tradition we said, to exist is to coexist. You cannot be going at each other's throat in the name of ideology, religion, ethnicity, and expect that we can live happily in this tiny planet. This planet is so tiny. This is the only known planet where life forms exist. So it is our responsibility, not only for ourselves, but our children and grandchildren, that we keep this planet safe for life. We don't know whether life exists anywhere else. So I think it is a great idea that this institution represents the idea of conversation, not conversion, not violence, but conversation. Let us bring our own experiences around the table and let us share our experiences rather than trying to impose our ideology on the other. Then let us listen what others have to say from their own experience and background, what the other person has to say, what other ethnic people have to say, what other linguistic group has to say, what other religious followers have to say. We have to listen. Listening is very, very important. I think that's the ideal of this institution. Let us listen to each other respectfully, rather than trying to control the other's thought process, rather than trying to impose your ideologies and the religious beliefs on the other, because everybody has a right to represent themselves as an individual and as a group and as a religious organization. So that is, I think, the ideal of this organization, to bring people together who has got different views and different beliefs, different ideologies, to bring them together and engage in conversation that we can march together towards our future. This is a very noble and laudable idea. It is in that context we are asking this question, why bad things are happening? Who is responsible for it? Is God responsible for this? God cannot be responsible for this, for heaven's sake. God is supposed to be all-knowing, all-compassionate. You don't worship a God who is cruel. You don't worship a God who plans and schemes our own destruction, human beings' destruction. So God couldn't be responsible for bad things. That's happening in the world. And we do know that bad things are happening. And why? Who is responsible? Or is it the cosmic algorithm not functioning, working properly? The cosmic computer is not working properly? What is the reason for bad things happening? So this is our question. And this question needs some analysis, especially in the context of our effort to know where are we headed? What is the future of humanity? What should we do? Are we helpless, and so that some power is controlling us and we are helpless? Or can we take responsibility for our actions? Or are we going to shift the responsibility for our actions to some God or some other powers? Are we responsible is the question. So this question is very, very important. Why bad things are happening to good people? And I'm going to analyze that question rather than answering that question. Because unless we understand the question, answer doesn't make any sense. So when we say why bad things are happening, that is only one statement, one part of a quartet. Why bad things are happening to good people? Of course, bad things are happening. But good things are happening to good people also. It is not that all the time bad things are happening. The first statement is, proposition is, why bad things? First question is that why bad things are happening to good people? The second statement is, why good things are happening to good people? Why don't you ask that question? We don't ask that question. Why good things are happening to good people? Good things do happen to good people. Now sometimes, not only good things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people also. Why good things are happening to bad people? Sometimes bad things happen to bad people. So we have to approach this question from these four angles. Bad things happen to good people, good things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people, good things happen to bad people. We have to ask all these questions. And these questions are based on the assumption there are bad people and good people in the world. There are good people and bad people. Which category you belong, you can decide by yourself. I am not going to judge whether you are a good person or a bad person. But there is this broad category that we have already assumed that there is broad category. There are good people, there are bad people. That itself has to be questioned. Are there bad people? And when you say there are good people, are they really good? And how deep is their goodness? All these questions we will have to ask. Then alone we will understand the significance of that question before we enter into discussion of an answer to that question. Why bad things are happening to good people? There is a book in this name, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. That was the title of that book. This was written by a Jewish rabbi called Harold Kushner. Harold Kushner was a Jewish priest, very famous priest. And after marriage, he waited for 14 years to have a child. After long prayers, daily prayers, he got this child. But the child was suffering from a congenital disease called progeria. Progeria means untimely aging. So this child which came after long years of prayer, instead of bringing happiness and joy, brought only suffering to the people, to the couple. Putra dukkha can be, if you don't have a child, putra dukkha. When you have a child also, putra dukkha is possible. So this child brought misery because he was born with the wrinkles and like an old man. By the age of 14, he looked like a 90-year-old person. And by the age of 16, he died. Died of old age. This disease is called a progeria, premature aging. So the child died, plunging the family into deep sorrow and grief. So then he started asking the question, what did I do? Why bad things happen to good people? That was his question. Why should it happen to me? I have been a servant of God, I am praying to God, and I am trying to bring people to God. And such a me, if this thing happened, then what is goodness? What is good action? Why should good people suffer? This was his question, like you and I ask, why good people are suffering? Who is responsible for that? Is God responsible for that? Is your actions responsible for that? Is government responsible for that? Are the stars responsible for that? Or your genes responsible for that? Who is to be blamed for human suffering or bad things happen to good people is the question. Now if we analyze the question, we understand this is a human-centered question. Why bad things happen to good people is a human-centered question. Bad things are happening to mosquitoes also. When a mosquito lands on your nose for a tiny drop of blood, which it can share with his wife and 13 children, it comes in a delicate way. You put the mosquito net and some or other, by its dexterity, some or other gets into the inside it and try to land on your nose, and then you put the light on and catch the mosquito and crush it in your hand and blow it away, blow it off. Do you ever think the mosquito will be, the wife mosquito will be asking, why bad things are happening to people? The mosquito, wife mosquito, she mosquito will be asking that question. Has it ever occurred to you? Or when you throw a stone at a street dog and break its leg, and it cries and howls and goes forward, do you ever ask the question why bad things are happening to good dogs? It never occurs to you. Or you cut a branch of a tree, an old tree here standing and giving you protection, shade and oxygen for the last 50 or 100 years, when you mercilessly cut the branch of the tree. Do you ever ask this question, why bad things are happening to good trees? They also are alive. They also have life. They also are expressions of life. It never occurs to us. What happens to the trees? What happened to water? Water also is alive. Water gives you life. If you don't drink water for 15 days, you are dead and gone. Why bad things happen to air, pure air? Because without air, you cannot live. So we never ask this question, why bad things are happening to good mosquitoes, good animals and good trees. You never ask that question. So I think this is a human-centered question, a narrow question, a narrow focused question, human-centered question. You don't take life in its totality. You focus on a narrow aspect of life and ask this question, why bad things are happening to good people? And when I further probe into that question, because you must answer the questioner, not the question. The questioner has got different purposes. He may ask a question, why bad things are happening, but he has something else in mind. Always, when you answer a question, don't just answer the question, you have to answer the question. Unless you understand the questioner, the answer will not affect thee or will not give satisfaction to the question. So when I further am going into this question, it is further narrow. Why bad things are happening to me? It is a person-centered question. You don't care if something bad thing happened to your neighbor. You think he deserves it. Isn't it? Something bad happens to your neighbor. Your secret thought is, he deserved it. It didn't happen to me. It happened to my neighbor. I was expecting it. God is great. There was an accident, a train accident, 200 people died, and I was saved. God is great. What about the 200 people standpoint? I don't care. So therefore, it is not even a human-centered question. It is a person-centered question. And that person is me. It is a me-centered question. When you ask why bad things are happening to good people, what you are having in mind, the questioner's mind is, why bad things are happening to me, not to my neighbor, not my mother-in-law, she deserves it. Why it is happening to me, that is the secret agenda of your question. So that means you have already assumed you are a good person. An unanalyzed assumption that I am a good person, and to me bad things are happening? Is it not the foundation of that question? Is it not the attitude, the agenda of the questioner? That bad things are happening to me, who is a good person? So therefore I would say, it is an arrogant man's question. He has already assumed that he is a, or she is a good person. So I would reformulate the question. The question is, why bad things are happening to me, who is a good person? Who told you are a good person? Did you ask your wife? She knows how good you are. Did you ask your children, your daughter-in-law, your neighbor, your boss, your subordinate? If you take all their views, then you have an average understanding of your goodness. But without any of this discussion, you have already concluded that you are a good person, and why bad things are happening to me, such a good person. Now we have to analyze that foundation of your thinking. Are you a good person? And when you ask that question, how do you know whether you are a good person or not? How do you know? You will know that I am a good person when something bad happens to you. Otherwise, how do you know you are a good person? If all the time good happens to you, you can be good. I smile, you smile back. I give you a compliment, you compliment me back. I give you a dinner, you give me a dinner back. I give you a gift, you give me a gift back. It is reciprocal. That one can understand. But the moment I challenge you, the moment I say something which you don't like, you show your true nature, isn't it? Swamiji, don't press me, don't provoke me beyond a point, I will show you my real nature. Isn't it? Therefore, even to know whether you are a good person, you must be challenged. If I call you are an idiot, I don't have anybody in mind in the audience. If I call you are an idiot, you will immediately get provoked. You are going to get angry. You are going to show your canine teeth. And you are on a war path. It is very easy to provoke you, sir. Your goodness is only skin deep. It's only a veneer, it's only a facade, it's only a makeup. It will run under heat. It is not gone into your character. So therefore, first of all, let us analyze, let us reflect whether I am a good person. And to know that I am a good person, you must be put under severe test. So you are not yet proved you are a good person. Let alone you ask this question. First of all, you have to prove I am a good person. To prove that, something bad has to happen to you. When Christ was put on the cross, nails were driven to his frail body and blood was dripping, life was ebbing away. In the heat, the deserts of Sinai, Mount Sinai, life was ebbing away. He was in real agony. Even then, Christ said, "Oh God, forgive them." This is mark of goodness. Don't say Christ was expecting the next election, some votes. That was not his expectation. What was the source of those immortal words which Christ uttered, on which the entire Christian church was built? Don't think I am propagating Christianity. Please don't misunderstand me. You may be wondering, why is he talking about Christ? I'm just giving an instance. Oh, what is being good? So when Christ was put on test on the cross, he only uttered the word, "Oh God, forgive them." The source of those words are very, very deep. That shows you as a man of character who will not wilt under pressure. Deep down, he is a man of character and greatness, love, compassion, forgiveness, respect. they can say Christ was a good person. Similarly, when Mahatma Gandhi was shot at, 3 bullets were pumped into his frail body, and life was ebbing away, he collapses. While he was collapsing, what was Gandhi's last words? Supposedly. Some people dispute that Gandhi never said that, but actually we wish Gandhi said it. What was those words Gandhi said? Hey Ram. Instead of saying catch him, kill him, throw stones at him, he did not say Hey Ram. That is what he said. That shows Gandhi was a good person. Shibi, the story, the Shibi, King Shibi. A dove comes and sits in his lap, chased by a falcon, and the falcon comes to Shibi and says, Maharaj, my breakfast is sitting in your lap. I am hungry and I want to eat, and I am your citizen. I am a citizen in this country. Those days, even birds were citizens, not only human beings. Animals were citizens. So the falcon argued, my breakfast is sitting in your lap, please release so that I can appease my hunger. And the dove said, please don't release me, he will eat me up, and I have got wife and children waiting for me at home. Now Shibi was in real confusion or dilemma, what to do. He has to protect the dove and he has to feed the falcon. Finally, what did Shibi do? Shibi cut a piece of flesh from his thighs and gave to the falcon and said, please leave this tiny little bird. This is the meaning of goodness. You and I would have roasted both the birds. Isn't it? That's what we would have done. Instead of taking a pound of flesh from your thighs and giving as a solution to the problem, a solution by self-sacrifice. Like mothers at home. When children fight, mother says, okay, I give you my food. And mother fasts. So sacrifice becomes a new energy into the equation. And the problem is solved.